I've got your gold and I've got your schematics. This better do the job. What do you actually want the schematics for? That seems like a good question that I failed to ask. Here we go. Yes, this will do. Landrisa Saleth shall be able to use these. I shall give the orders to begin construction on the rest of your stronghold. Perhaps you would like to know who your Telvanni retainers shall be. Or do you need any household slaves for Tel Uvirith? They are Landrisa Saleth, Tunila Omervel, Faeryn Aralas, and Gorvan Mainas. Alright. Landrisa is the Telvanni expert on Dwemer constructs, such as Dwemer Centurions, and a brilliant enchanter. You're lucky to have her at Tel Uvirith. Tunila? She can fill the role of Tel Uvirith's healer. She's specifically requested to leave Sadrith Mora and become a retainer at Telvanni stronghold sometime in the past. Why? Well, you need to ask her. Faeryn? She's skilled in spellmaking and knowledgeable in most colleges of magic. I also feel she hopes to be your second in command, but that decision is yours, spell right. And Gorvan Minas? She shall fill the role of your alchemist at Tel Uvirith. I understand she's also an expert on the Daedra and the Daedra princes if you find yourself needing advice on them for some reason. Ooh, really? That could be interesting. Okay. An interesting gang of retainers we seem to have acquired. How excellent. Anything else to ask about here while we're at it? When is it going to be done? That's that's the main question I think I have. Yeah, I've already asked about these. Okay, it's not actually telling me, but I'm sure we'll get a journal update when it happens. Right then, well. I'd really prefer a deadline, but okay, fine. I guess I can't argue with you, really, can I? Seriously wondering if there's something cool at the bottom of that, but I don't want to go find out. Right. Stronghold Phase 2, or maybe 3. I'm starting to lose count. Is a go. Fantastic news. Question is now, what do we do in the meantime? Well, folks, to answer that question, I think we can go back to Master Arian and start doing some actual House Telvanni quests again. I believe. I am tempted to just go back to the lair and wait a while to get to the next stage of the stronghold to be built. But I think I was previously operating under the assumption that I couldn't do any more Telvanni quests full stop until my stronghold was completely finished. I don't actually believe that's the case now after doing a bit of research. So I think we're going to go see Master Arian at Telvos, and that will also give us an excuse to go activate the Telvos teleporter as well while we're at it. So, welcome back to a new episode, by the way. That last video clip was actually supposed to be the end of the last video, and I forgot to put it there. So I screwed up, basically. So it got put onto the beginning of this video instead. So welcome back. And yes, we're going to go to Telvos. Basically, I could go back to the lair and just wait, because I am excited to get to see the stronghold built, because I've never used the stronghold mod. I forgot what it's called again. But I haven't used the stronghold mod before, ever. So I'm excited to actually see what it's like and what the features are and that kind of thing. But hey, I think we'll do this instead, just because it makes for a more interesting video. Some people have said that it's not, that it's a bit cheesy of me and a bit, well, sort of like I'm not RPing or whatever by waiting a few days like I did last time. Frankly, I want to call bullshit on that, actually, because I think it's perfectly reasonable for Fathers to go to his lair and for 3 days basically just rest up and read his books and study his magic spells and do that kind of stuff. I think that's perfectly reasonable. I don't do it very often because it's not very interesting to watch necessarily, but think about it. If you spent every single day... We've been playing now for 166 days. It's 166 days since Fathis arrived in Vardenfell originally. On day 1. And for 90% of those days, he's done basically nothing but constantly adventure all of the time, walking around the place, fighting monsters. Can you imagine how exhausted you would actually be in real life if you were doing that all of the time? You would have to take a week off every now and again. So I don't think it's remotely unreasonable for Fathis to just say, right, sod it, and put my feet up for 3 days while I wait for this next phase of my stronghold to be constructed. I think that's perfectly reasonable. So to people calling me out and saying that's not RPing or whatever, I say nonsense. It absolutely is. It's perfectly legit. Sorry, it was annoying me. That was really annoying me. It was a fly in my soup. That thing. It was a bugbear, and I wanted exorcised. I felt like I had to address that because it was irritating me. But anyway. So, I should probably tell you what. Well, I'll talk about this after we've spoken with Master Arian, but got some other things to address, actually, mod-related things. Now then, this way. And, aha, here it is, Telvanni platform. I've activated the platform from Tel Vos. I will now be able to travel from any other Telvanni tower. Hooray! Which means I can travel back to Sadrith Mora via this thing. Shirtless Telvanni guard. We don't talk about the shirtless Telvanni guards. Master Arian. What can I do for you spell right? Well, for first things first, can I get promoted, please? Because I think we're eligible. Yes, you've met all the requirements. You are now Wizard Fathisulvan of House Telvanni. I like the sound of that. Good. Can't have another one, can I? No, I must do more chores before I'm willing to consider me for the highest ranks of House Telvanni. Ooh, the highest ranks. I like the sound of that. All right, then fine. Are you going to give me chores to do now that I'm a wizard? Because clearly, I think this has worked. We don't have a finished stronghold, but we now technically have a stronghold as far as heat's concerned. So therefore, we've finally now been promoted to wizard. So does that mean he's got something for us to do? If you wish to become a master in House Telvanni, you must have someone to represent you in the Telvanni Council Hall. Find a promising Telvanni to be your mouth. Ooh. I've heard of a promising Telvanni in Balmora who might agree to be your mouth, but I do not know more than this. Ask the other Telvanni if they know of someone who would agree to be your mouth. Okay. All right, then. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So we need basically to be on the council, and that is the next rank up from where we are right now, is to actually be a member of the council. We need someone to represent us on the council. Ooh, exciting stuff. All right, I'm just going to pop outside for a minute here before using the teleport platform. Get out of my way, naked guard. So, as exciting news as that is, I do need to address some other stuff. One is, I've reduced following that discussion about the distant land and stuff like that in the game, I've reduced the view distance of my distant terrain a bit. I think I've reduced it down to sort of, can't remember now, I did it a few days ago. It's 10 to 15, somewhere in that range of distant view cell. So obviously we can see Red Mountain from here in the Ghostgate, but I think as you can tell, the view distance has been significantly reduced. I'm tempted to reduce it a bit more, actually, but I still haven't decided yet. I'm thinking ahead, basically, because I'm thinking ahead to... Oh, gosh, I need to zoom the map in here. I'm thinking ahead to when we go to Solstheim, which will not be that far into the future, because people have been asking me, when are you going to do Blood Moon? I don't want to put an exact date, like on the 25th of February 2020, I will begin Blood Moon. I have no idea of storytelling. It will happen when it happens, but I'm planning on doing it relatively soon-ish. Because we're level 30 now, which I think should be good enough to tackle Blood Moon, because Blood Moon's quite a high-level area. Like, the Solstheim in Blood Moon is quite high level. Like, it doesn't muck about. If you go there with a low-level character, you will get your ass thoroughly kicked. But I think at level 30, even though we're a very poorly optimized character, it must be said, I think at level 30 we're probably okay. The short blade 116 will carry the day, probably, if nothing else. But the thing about Solstheim is obviously, as you can see, it's very small. And as a DLC, even more so than the vanilla game, it's designed with a lack of distant land in mind, I think. Solstheim really... having distant land turned on while you're playing Blood Moon does not flatter the DLC at all, because it really reminds you how small the landmass you're on actually is. So I've been tweaking the distant land in my game to try and come up with something I'm happy with, that preserves some of that classic Morrowind mystery and lack of knowledge about the land without being able to see it all in the distance, but while also making the game look nice and stuff. So I've reduced them at distant land. I may reduce it further. I feel like Darth Vader now. I have reduced the distant land. Pray that I do not alter it further. But anyway, I kind of want to levitate up onto it to get a better view. Whee, here we go. Ooh, that's some horrible clipping. Let's just pretend that's not there, shall we? The other thing is, I have updated Tamriel Rebuilt. Hurrah! Yes, I have. We now have... What's it called? The newest update, Faeryn, I think, installed. Everything should be fine. I've tested it a fair bit, and I backed up my original install as well, so everything's fine, even if the whole thing bursts into flames and collapses to the ground. We can just revert to the previous install. But I really wanted to upgrade, because it adds this whole bit here is now fully playable with NPCs and quests and all sorts of stuff to do. So basically now the playable area reaches all the way from all this stuff down here. I mean, look how much of Tamriel Rebuilt we haven't explored, my goodness. We've only sort of really mucked about with this stuff up here. But it now stretches from all the way up here. So let me just make this bigger. It stretches from all this up here, all the way down here, right down to here. And then there's sort of a box about here-ish that's not currently playable, because that's where Morrowind is. They haven't figured that stuff out yet. But all the way to the opposite shore of the River Thea here is now playable, excluding this little bit here where Morrowind is. It's a truly vast area that's now actually fully playable with quests and NPCs and all the rest of it. So I really wanted to get that installed so we could get this. So we have Old Ebonheart, obviously, but now we have all the lands surrounding it and stuff. And I do want to go back to Tamriel Rebuilt at some point in the future, do some questing and stuff like that. I want to visit Necrom, basically, at some point. Necrom is all the way over here, and Necrom is a very cool place in Morrowind lore. It's where a lot of the souls of the dead are kept. A lot of the ancestors' remains are buried in Necrom. It's the city of the dead. So it's a place that Fathis would probably want to make a sort of a pilgrimage to one of these days, actually, really. You know, because if he's got ancestors in Morrowind, there's a good chance they might be buried there, you know. So, anyway, newest version of Tamriel Rebuilt is installed as well, along with... Yeah, I'll be transparent about it. Along with two other new land mods. You can't see them because hard-coded map limits, unfortunately, but I have Skyrim Home of the Nords installed as well now, along with Province Cyrodiil, which is a bit of a misnomer, really, because it's not Province Cyrodiil at all. It's like the island of Stirk off the coast of Cyrodiil is all that's actually in the mod. But those are two other land mods. Obviously, one of them is in Skyrim. One of them is in Stirk off the coast of Cyrodiil. And I genuinely do not know if we will ever get to those in this Let's Play. It'd be nice if we did, but I don't know if we'll ever find the time for it, honestly. But they are very cool mods, which, given the opportunity, I would like to take a look at with Fathis. He could bugger off on holiday to Skyrim or Stirk for a while, and have a little sort of... It'd be like doing another DLC, essentially. So those are installed as well now. I figured I might as well, because they use the Project Tamriel data stuff that Tamriel Rebuilt already uses, so I already had that stuff installed. And they impact the game virtually not at all as well, because they're just separate bits of land off to the west here. That don't affect the main game whatsoever, so there's really no harm in having them installed. It's just an additional thing that we can do at some point if we feel like it. So that's the mod stuff. Oh, with the exception of I got an updated bit of user interface mod. There's a high definition user interface mod. I didn't install all of it. I only installed the bits for books and scrolls, and the reason for that is because one, I didn't like the way the books looked in my game, so this looks nicer in my opinion, and also I found it had a really cool feature for scrolls. I'm trying to find a good one here. As you can see, new scroll graphic, but also it adds a little Daedric translation thing. I can't be asked to sit here and translate all of that, but I believe this one here says "Open unto me." I sat here with the translation thing when I was testing this mod out and tried to translate a few scrolls. But I think this says "Open unto me" or something. But yeah, this is kind of neat. This is kind of neat, you know, and we do see, like, Daedric lettering here and there in the world as well, so I can just, if I ever do see it and I want to know what it means, I can just whip out a scroll and translate it using this. I thought that was such a cool feature, that was what made me install it, basically. I saw that and I was like, gosh, that's really awesome, I want that. Now I don't have to ask the YouTube comments every time I want something translated that's written in Daedric in this game anymore. I can do it myself. So, that's pretty sweet. And now I'm stuck on the balustrade. Oh, get off. Right. Do you mind? Thank you. So with that little discussion over, apologies, it was probably longer than it needed to be. Right, yeah, so this is how the teleporters work. They don't just teleport you instantly like using a teleport scroll does. They're kind of, and I believe this is a workaround just for the way the game engine handles this sort of thing. What it does is it creates a door, which we then open, and we then find ourselves in the council house. And if we were to go back,
welcome, Outlander.
Up here, a similar sort of thing will happen. And this is obviously a workaround. However, I actually happen to think it's kind of cool. Let's tell boss. Here we go. And what that does is, in this one's case, is it changed the door behind us. Now opens into Arian's chambers instead of back into the council house now. I just think that's really cool. Like they had to make a workaround, and essentially what they came up with is something that, in my view, is actually much cooler than just a standard. Oh, I just instantly teleport to the location like I do if I do an Alcivia or Divine Intervention or a Recall spell. It actually sort of summons a door, and then you open the door, and behind it is your destination. You know, it's quite trippy, really, when you think about what it would actually look like. You know, but anyway, so right, we've got to ask around about a mouth. I almost forgot what we were here for. Okay, hello. I'm looking for a mouth. Would you like to be a mouth? Sounds so wrong. Telvanni mouths are in the council house. Yeah,
I'm very happy.
I guess I could ask these guys. If you're looking for a mouth of your own, you might ask Fast Eddie in Balmora. Right, yes.
How wonderful.
So that's the name of the guy that Master Aaron was thinking of. I can't blame him for not remembering the name. I can rarely remember names of NPCs in this bloody game, but Fast Eddie in Balmora, then. Okay. Thinking in my head, what's the quickest way to get there? What's it called? Wolverine Hall's the quickest way to get there, isn't it? Divine Intervention! Iniel, hello. I'd like to travel to Balmora, please. I thank you. I could have used the thing on the floor, I forgot. So that's interesting, actually. Like, maybe it's not a workaround, maybe it's a deliberate choice, because this teleports you just fine. This doesn't require summoning doors and things, so maybe it's not so much a workaround and more maybe it really was more of an artistic choice. Either way, I don't care. I think it was kind of cool. So, Balmora. Gosh, it feels like it's been forever since we were here. Crazy stuff. Anything in this? Nah, not really. I used to think that these things restocked, but I don't think they do, you know. Yeah, we're back in Balmora, everybody. Finally. Do you know what? Since we're here, I think I might finally go and see Caius. I've been putting it off long enough. And also, we can see Meldor here and sell these ebony braces. I almost forgot that too. Right. Okay. Where are those ebony braces? There they are. Man, he only has 1,500 gold. I'm sure he has more than that in the vanilla game. Curse you, Rebirth! You and your... I'll take the 1,500, honestly. It's fine. Curse your Rebirth and your changes which prevent me from doing cheesy things. That really is the point of most of the changes in Rebirth. It's just to stop you being a cheesy git if you know this game really well. And I'm totally fine with that, because I do know this game quite well, and I know how to be a cheesy git. You'll recall recently I was talking about... what's it called? The Mornhold Museum. Turns out Rebirth has seriously nerfed the museum. They don't give you like 30 grand for an artifact now anymore. They give you like 3,000 for an artifact now, which almost makes it not even worth bothering donating to the museum. Honestly, that's a bit punishingly hard. But again, it's to stop you at level 1 going, running into a ruin, grabbing a unique artifact like the Fists of Randagulf, running back to the to Mornhold, handing them over to the museum, and instantly having like 40,000 gold. So there, it is what it is. Yeah. So on that, from that perspective, I'm kind of okay with it. Anyway, here we are outside Caius' house. He might actually know where Fast Eddie is, because I don't think I'm necessarily planning to kill Caius just yet. So we'll see. We'll tell him we've been cured of corpus disease and see what he wants next, and we'll proceed from there. And while we're at it, I think we'll ask him about Fast Eddie, because out of anyone in this town, he's probably going to know who that is. Hello, Caius. Fathis, thank you for your report. I'm very happy you've been cured. Unfortunately, I have a bit of bad news. I've been recalled to the Imperial City. You'll be promoted to operative and will head the blades here in Vardenfell until I return. I've only waited here to give you your final orders before I go. Oh. That makes you the ranking blades agent here in Vardenfell District, as far as I know. There may be other blades agents here I don't know about. It wouldn't surprise me. I may be gone a while, and you'll have expenses. Here's some gold, and you can use the house until I return. And I won't be needing these blacks or the ring while I'm in Cyrodiil. Maybe they'll come in handy. Take good care of them. Oh, okay, so... Right. So, I knew this was coming, but Fathis obviously did not. And I think... Caius has basically played a blinder here. He may have just saved his own life by deciding, right, you know what, Fathis, I'm going to promote you to be head of the Blades in Morrowind. Enjoy. And then is going to promptly bugger off back to Cyrodiil. And he says he'll come back, but he won't, by the way. He'll be gone for the rest of the game. But, right. There's nothing to it. Each agent has its own assignment and reports directly to Cyrodiil. You're promoted to operative mostly to preserve your independence. You're no fool. The days of the Empire are almost over. When the Emperor dies, 9 hells are going to break loose. More than you know, mate. More than you know. Forget about the Imperial City. Think locally. Worry about the 6th House and Dagoth and squabbles between the great houses and the colonists. The rest of the political nonsense doesn't amount to a plate of scuttle. Right. Okay, so Fathers had probably an idea that things were not going well in the Empire. What he did not expect was Caius to turn around and say, okay, so basically when the Emperor dies, the Empire is going to just completely disintegrate. It really is that bad. The Empire is, as he literally says, its days are numbered. That is, again, this is more information that I think is going to take Fathers aback slightly. Like, kind of, he wasn't expecting that at all. Right. Well... So what is his final orders? Continue pursuing the Nerevarine prophecies as the Emperor commands. First, go to the Hall of Wisdom and Justice and get Meramilo, to help you find the lost prophecies. She's being watched. If something's gone wrong, find her private quarters. She'll leave you a message there under the code word Amaya. Then take the lost prophecies to Limbani Mesa. From that point, you'll have to follow her directions and follow the prophecies. Good luck. Well, we were going to pursue the Nerevarine stuff anyway, so that aligns with our interests perfectly. So if that's all our orders are, then whatever. Although, yeah, Meramilo, because she's kind of mixed up in the whole dissident priests thing at the temple, so she might know about. She might know about the lost prophecies that Nibani Mesa obviously doesn't have, and which are quite important, as it turns out, from the sounds of it anyway. Meramila says the distant priests do have records of Ashlander Nerevarine prophecies, and she has an idea of how we might get a look at them. Okay, so she actually knows where we might find them. Good. Alright. Cool. Yeah, she did mention she was being watched, actually, when we spoke to her before, and she seems to be fine still, so I'm going to go ahead and say that this is not a particularly urgent thing right now, so we will do this, but I think Fathers right now is far more concerned about his damn stronghold and getting onto the Telvanni Council. Power-mad bastard that he is. And also, he's just been promoted to be the head of the Blades, so that's something. You wouldn't happen to know who Fast Eddie is, would you, by the way, Caius? Ed Thaman, also Fast Eddie, also Eddie the Rat, is a rare commodity. A former Telvanni wizard who has gone Imperial and joined the Mages Guild. A colourful but unreliable character, he's an invaluable source of inside information on Great House Telvanni. He has a small house here in Balmora. He doesn't sound like a particularly ideal candidate, does he, really? But, beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Alright, well. See, now this puts us in an awkward position as well. As much as Fathers would personally like to end Caius, if he's been recalled and he doesn't turn up, people are going to get suspicious back in Cyrodiil. And as I said, I think he's played a blinder really there by basically disappearing back to Cyrodiil, and he might even be gone now. He is gone. He is gone. There you go. He's gone immediately. I guess he teleported out of here. I don't know. But I guess the house is ours now, so we've got a little place to stay in Balmora, although technically I already did have a place to stay in Balmora, which was this place here. You see. Remember this place? Yeah. But anyway. Yeah, Caius kind of played a blinder there. He basically has buggered off to back to Cyrodiil and has promoted Fathers to be head of the Blades. Thoroughly outflanked. I think perhaps on some level Fathers can't help but admire the old skooma snorting bastard. Well then. I guess Caius won't be dying anytime soon. On a completely unrelated note, by the way, I installed another small mod which changed the way the rain looks in the game. Basically because I noticed when it was raining last time that I could barely see any of the raindrops, and it was kind of odd. So I fixed that.
Probably nothing.
Apropos of absolutely nothing, I know. But there it is. In case you were wondering why the rain suddenly looks different, I modded it. Anyway, well then. So at our earliest convenience, which might not be for a little while, We need to go to Vivek and have another word with Marimilo about these lost prophecies. But right now, we want to go find Fast Eddie. Because right now, we want to get onto the Telvanni Council, because right now, that is, to Falthus' mind at least, a far more pressing concern. Here's a small house in Balmora, and also there's combat music? Oh, we've got another beetle infestation. Is that what the problem here is? Or is there a very angry fish in the river or something? I don't know. Anyway. Fast Eddie's house. It'll take us forever to find it if we... Oh, maybe we could ask a guard. Although I should probably quick save before I talk to a guard, just in case I've got a bounty from somewhere. Good thing to do, quick saving before talking to guards in this game. No, we're good. We don't have a bounty. Excellent. Alright. Fast Eddie? No. Could ask at the Mages Guild, I suppose. I'm determined to actually have an NPC tell me where he lives before I just decide to consult the map.
May I help you?
Hello. Okay, you've got nothing to say. Anyone downstairs got anything to say about it? Fast Eddie. No, okay.
Yes,
never mind then.
What do you want?
I want to know where Fast Eddie lives, but apparently you are not forthcoming with this information. I figured since he's a member of the Mages Guild, you might know. Alright, where does he live then? Fast Eddie's house. I would assume he's on this side. Because it seems to be the poor side of Balmora. No, maybe not. Fast Eddie, where do you live? The other good thing to hear about being head of the Blades is apparently it's more or less the same as being head of the Morag Tong, in that we don't have to do anything at all. The guild will more or less run itself. Where the hell does he live? What the heck? I can't find him here anywhere, unless I've already moused over him and the comments are already screaming at me. I mean, that's been known to happen after all. Fast Eddie, where the heck do you live? Maybe I've not discovered the engine. I should have done. I should have discovered it by now. Maybe I'll have more luck just wandering around rather than using this map. But I gotta say, I'm not seeing it anywhere. I'm gonna go have a look. Fast Eddie, where do you live? This battle music is seriously starting to annoy me. Alright, you know what we're doing? We're doing the beetle finding spell. Where are you, little... Oh god, there's loads of them everywhere. Detect animal. Yeah, they're everywhere, apparently. There's one right behind me. Oh, is it detecting people as well? Oh dear. It's been ages since I used it, so I don't remember. Anyway, I guess we're just gonna put up with battle music for reasons. Fast Eddie, where do you live? Please, somebody tell me where Fast Eddie lives. Nobody has anything to say about Fast Eddie except for... Oh, finally, here we go. Okay. Some distant subconscious memory must have guided me to this place from when I've played this main quest before, years ago. Hello, Fast Eddie. They call me Fast Eddie. Who are you? I am your prospective new employer. That's who I am. I've heard about you, Father Sylvan. Do you want me to be your mouth? Yes. If I'm your mouth, you'll be my patron. You'll need to give me a silver staff of peace to seal our patronage. Oh, bugger. I might have one of those at my hideout. Conversely, I might have picked one up at some point and sold it. It's been, like, nearly 5 years. I can't remember. Let's go have a look at some of these shops, see if they've got Silver Staff of Peace in stock. I mean, if any town's gonna have one, it might be Balmora, let's be honest. So many darn shops here. Do you have a Silver Staff of Peace? You've got lots of wooden staffs, but no silver staffs. That is unfortunate. Let's try somewhere else. Revere! Revere, I've sold you all sorts of crap over the years. Come on. Maybe you've got something. No, he doesn't. Bother. To be fair, when you sell them stuff, I don't know if it actually appears in their inventory. So if I have sold one of these guys a Silver Staff of Peace in the past, it's not necessarily going to appear in their inventory. I'm just hoping one of them might have one just anyway, you know. The Enchanter's up here. Mage's Guild Enchanter, Galbadir. Hello, Galbadir. Do you have a Silver Staff of Bollocks? Okay. Okay. Silver Staff of Peace. Where do I get a Silver Staff of Peace? I assume enchanting my own Silver Staff and calling it a Silver Staff of Peace will not quite fit the bill. You don't have anything more to say on the subject, do you? So they grew a tiny tower out in the middle of nowhere for you. Lovely view out of the Ashlands, but not even accessible by boat. Don't feel they're treating you like a joke, even though they probably are. Once you rise further in the ranks, I'll have to make that place more livable. They might even install a teleportation platform. Oh, good. My career? Ooh, interesting options here, actually. Yes, I do. Oh, man. My kingdom for a dialogue topic on that. I earned myself a reputation as a skilled agent on both sides of the inner sea, a mayor who could get things done quick and clean. I didn't belong to any noble household, instead I worked for many different wizard lords, tracing down rare magical artifacts, removing enemies of the house, that sort of thing. I'd gained a lot of favour, but I got careless. I made the mistake of making a powerful enemy. You see, the then Master Gothrin and Master Neloth were in a bitter feud at the time, openly warring. Their mercenary armies were deadlocked, and Neloth hired me to find something to break the stalemate. I found him a legendary Daedric blade. It has a dark name, one that I don't want to speak, and for a time, it gave his forces the advantage they needed until it was stolen by someone else in turn. Gothrin learned of my involvement with his rival and was determined to punish me. He had no grounds to expel me from House Telvanni, and I killed the 2 Nightblades he sent after me. So, he turned to politics to clip my wings. Mistress Dratha had also been feuding with Master Neloth and didn't need much convincing from Gothrin. The 2 conspired to keep me from advancing any further in the house, using bribes, threats, and lies to convince other wizard lords, even those on the mainland. Without a patron, I couldn't get any work, and with enemies in high places, life was getting dangerous. Leaving Azura's coast seemed the only option. Now I ply what trade I can with the Mages Guild. Alright, so you didn't really leave House Telvanni by choice, did you? Which is what I originally thought was the case. Alright. Sorcerer for hire, I contract through the Mages Guild these days. Size. Okay. Yeah, I think Vathis kind of likes this guy. He has an extremely similar background, actually. These 2 will probably get on like a house on fire. I suspect. Some people have been acting strangely at night, going all glassy-eyed and saying all kinds of sinister blasphemies to passers-by. Come morning, they're back to normal again. Sounds like soul sickness or enchantment to me. One of the 4 corners behind it, I'll bet. The Mad God or the Firestone. Either way, I'm keeping off the streets as much as possible. Molag Bal is the Firestone, isn't he? Because that's what Molag Bal actually means, Firestone. Right. And yeah, those will be dreamers. That'll be old Dagother up to his tricks. I was practicing a direct detect enchantment spell the other day. I got a strong signal coming from the Eastern Guard Tower here. The town guards have probably got a magic weapon stashed in there. As a matter of fact, I think they do. Not that we know anything about... Although we do know something about that now. Maybe that's worth having a look. Morrowind lore? Things can really heat up when Morrowind comes alive. You've been adventuring a lot, so you know what I mean. When there are bandits or assassins or masterless undead swarming you. And more enemies coming along to make things even tougher. That kind of challenge makes life interesting. Too interesting for some, but that's what separates the mer from the meek. He has a lot of interesting, unique dialogue bits, doesn't he, this guy? Kimono Tom. I keep myself to myself. I don't know anything about him. Balmora Mages Guild? It's in the Market Square. Yeah, we know where it is. We know where it is. I'm just waiting here in Balmora until things cool off a bit in House Talvani. It's not a bad place for a Halalu town. Some nice women around here. Okay. Little secret. Oh, that's you already got that one. Alright. What about the Nerevarine? Ashlander superstition, nothing more. I wouldn't be so sure about that. I mean, it is and it isn't. That's the thing. It's complicated. Well... I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to go... I'm going to go online and find out where I can get a Silver Staff of Peace. Through the magic of the internet, by which I mean
Welcome, friend. Are you the one I've heard talk about?
Yes, I am. Unless it's bad, in which case, no, it's not me at all. I had nothing to do with it. I swear, Gov. Anyway. In other words, I've talked to Fast Eddie and I've asked him where I might find a Silver Staff of Peace, because I was given one by Master Arian when I became a Mouth, and I totally forgot this because it was freaking years ago. And I didn't keep it, I sold it like a moron. So, we need to go buy a new one. And there are 2 locations that I believe we can find one. We're going to try and Sadrith Mora first. Now, this is assuming... Is it you? No, it was not you. The rat died for nothing. There are 2 locations we can get them, and this is assuming the mods haven't cocked it up and removed them or something like that. I sincerely hope not. The first location is Sadrith Mora, which makes sense, actually. In the council house. You remember there's a bunch of enchanters and stuff downstairs in the council house? Well, one of those guys has got a Silver Staff of Peace, which makes sense. So I'm going to say that Fast Eddie told us we could probably get one in Sadrith Mora at the council house. Now, where the heck am I going right now? Mages Guild, that's where I want to be. So I can teleport.
May I help you?
There's another place we can get it to. I'm not even going to bring it up, though, unless I actually have to. Actually, no, that's not fair. For purposes of those of you watching at home who may also be playing the game and wondering also where the heck to get one, you can also get one from one of the people in the High Fane Temple in Vivek. I think one of them sells a Silver Staff of Peace as well. So we want to go Sadrith Mora. Hello again, everybody. Just passing through.
I'm listening.
You get the Silver Staff of Peace is definitely a thing in this game, but there's also a still Silver Staff of War you can get from time to time. I don't think I have one of those. I hope I don't need it for anything. I could have checked my hideout, admittedly, actually, because there's always a chance that it might be on a shelf somewhere there, and I didn't actually sell it, but I think I might have done. So I'm just going to do this because it's quicker. I believe you can... Actually, there is a third place where you can buy You can buy one in Tel Voss itself, actually. In one of the towers. Not the main tower where Arian chills at, but one of the stone towers. The reason I'm not going there, though, is because I hate Tel Voss. It's an absolute nightmare to navigate. It's even worse than Wolverine Hall, and that is saying something. So I'm not going to go to Tel Voss to get one unless I can absolutely avoid it. Because I hate trying to navigate around that place. Right, it's one of the people in here, I think. I think it's this guy in the amazing yellow and orange robes. Hello! Do you have a silver staff of peace for me? You... bollocks, do you have a silver staff of peace? But you've got Peacemaker and a silver staff of shaming.
You honor me. Do you wish to do business?
If you had a silver staff of peace, I would wish to do business. Alright, plan B. Where the Christ am I? This is not where I wanted to go. Sorry. Recall, that's what I wanted. I was one step ahead of myself there. I need to recall first and then Almsevia intervention. Okay. Oh, I probably should have checked to see if I actually had one on my shelf there. Never mind. Never mind. Right. Hello. You sell potions, don't you? You're not an enchanter. Nah, you just, yeah. You also only sell potions. What about you? You don't have one either. You got the Saint's Shield, though, which is kind of cool. Look at that thing. But you don't actually have a silver staff of peace.
I am never too busy for a good talk.
Unless, of course, you don't sell the staff, but you actually hold the staff. That might be what it is. I didn't read the fine print terribly closely. Let's go back to the hideout and see if I've got one somewhere. Hello, Bill. Man, your armor's looking particularly weird these days. Right, Silver Staff of Peace. Do we have one in here somewhere? Ebony Spear, close but no cigar. Yeah, I'm not seeing one in there. That mess of stuff. Didn't put it anywhere else, did I? I'm getting desperate now. Oh, the game is such a troll. Silver Staff of Hunger. As I said, the game is such a troll. God, they give you this bloody staff and then, unless I'm misremembering, they don't even tell you how important it is going to be later on, so you just like, oh, this is useless to me, I'm going to sell it. Oh, curses! Curses! You, sir.
Honor me. Do you wish to do business?
I require your silver staff of peace. That is what I require. Here, take this 1,000 gold. Now give me the silver staff of peace. What? You will not give me it? You will not give me the silver staff of peace, even though I have given you 1,000 gold, you swine! I shall end you, sir. Yes, I will, very slowly, as I continue to make you angrier and angrier. That does it. Right, here we go. I'm over encumbered. Why am I over encumbered? Oh, what on earth did he cast at me there? What the heck? You better have this frickin' staff, man. Can't even move with this equipped. Holy crap. He just nuked my strength completely. Do I have anything that can restore that? I'll drink some Flynn. How about that? I can move now, at least. There you go, Silver Staff of Peace. Thank you very much, sir. I should have my 1,000 gold back as well. You got anything else useful here? I'd love a scroll of lock splitter, I'm just saying. No. You can keep the rest of that. That would be even cheesier if I took those. Right, okay. Problem solved, folks. I didn't want to have to do that, okay? I didn't want to have to do that, but that's the way the game made it, alright? The only other way... Nobody sells a Silver Staff of Peace in this game. Nobody sells one. The only other way to get one, aside from being rewarded as part of that earlier Telvanni quest, or killing an NPC that has one, is literally to just hope it comes up in a leveled loot list. I'm not kidding. I would have to go loot random tombs and caves and things and hope that it randomly appears in a chest or a crate. I'm not joking. That's the only other way to get one. So... I'm afraid he had to die. I offered him 1,000 gold for a staff, and he took the money, and he tried to swindle me, and so therefore I have killed him. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it, okay? I don't want to hear a word about it in the comments. Anyway. Right, Fast Eddie, I've got you a staff. Don't ask me how I got it. Please. Oh, Morrowind. What are you like? I've waited for years to be someone's mouth. I won't disappoint you, Favis. I'll go to the council hall in the Sadrith Mora right away. If you want me to do any chores for you, just let me know. I apparently do not have the option of giving you any right now, but hey. Cool, good to know. I like you. You're so much better than Julan. Oh, I really need to fix this whole... I don't have any other booze I can drink, do I? Gotta restore sodding luck, not restore health. Alright, hold on. Unless I've got restore strength spell. I don't think I have. I need to make a spell so that I don't get into this position in future. That's what I need to do. In fact, I'm going to go straight to the bloody Mages Guild after I sort this out. I'm going to make myself a spell that restores all my attributes. That's what I'm going to do. As soon as Amulet of Mighty Blows. Here, that might save me. There we go. Good. Right. Quickly to the temple. Immediately. Ow. I require CV restoration. I could have just teleported up there, I suppose, but whatever. There is some mysterious creature in this town that wants me dead. I still don't know where it is. We are merely going to have to accept the fact that if we're in Balmora, we're going to get battle music. That's just the way it is. The Amulet of Might Blows has got to be one of the single most useful amulets in this entire game, I swear. Purely for situations like this. Now, do you have a... Right, okay. Shrine to the Tribunal. Get in. Right, problem solved. Oh god, look how fast I run now. Whee! Okay, so... Let's go to the Mages Guild and ensure that this problem never happens again. I should have done this so much sooner. I don't know if I actually have the requisite spells to make this work, but I'm sure we'll find out. No, it wasn't you. What about you? Balmora really has a pest problem. Okay, you were hostile, but you're apparently not the one causing the problem. I don't know. Someday I'll find this critter.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
But it will not be this day. Hello. Right. Restore. I don't think I have a restore attribute spell to work with. Alright, we better find one then. You obviously don't have them. I don't think you sell spells, do you? Oh, no, you do. You do. You actually do. So, something else I want to address while I'm running around looking for someone with the right spells. Think about the narration thing. Towards the start of this volume of the Let's Play, I did a lot of edited in post or narration commentary bits.
What is it?
And I've kind of stopped doing them lately. And the reason for that, basically, is because they're too much work. They're just too much work. For a series that people want regular videos of, I don't know why I'm bartering with you. You don't have a silver staff apiece, do you? No, good. Okay, I didn't have to go through that for nothing. Although, what the heck? Huh? It's a magical version of my awesome robe. Resist fire. I don't really need that, but that's cool. Basically, for a series that people want regular updates of, I can't make it work. It doubles the length of the editing process. Honestly, it does, because I got to write it all out and then edit it in at points in the video where I've made room for it in the first place by not doing any commentary, and I just man. I think what I'm going to do going forward is what you're going to get. You're going to get occasional videos with an extended intro, like we had when we visited the Urshalaku. And you'll get a little intro bit like that. I think that's the way I'm going to do it going forwards, as opposed to me trying to inject. What am I doing here?
Yes.
Inject bits of
freely, friend.
Narrative stuff into the middle of the video, because it's just damned inconvenient, and it takes ages to do it, and I just don't want to do it. I'm sorry, guys. It was always an experiment. It was never something I committed to. So just something I wanted to experiment with and try out and see if it was worth doing. As it turns out, no, I don't think it was. It's fortify, but it's not restore. Close, but no cigar. No, not spellmaking. Absorb. Someone around here's got to have a bloody restore attribute spell. You sniff at me. Oh, who else can we try? We could sod off to flipping Mornhold, but that's probably not a good idea. Not till we start Tribunal. Algaroom. Maybe I'd have more look at a temple, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm gonna going forward, I think my plan is essentially to do what I've been doing already a bit, like I did in the very first episode of this volume of the Let's Play, and what I did when we went to the Urshalaku and had the whole epiphany about the Nerevarine sort of stuff. That's the way it's going to be going forward. I feel more comfortable doing it that way. It's just the way it's going to be. So, because people have been asking in the comments about it, and I thought I might as well address the elephant in the room. No, I'm not going to do that anymore. It was too much of a pain in the arse at my end to do it that way. Apologies, but when I need to be pumping out these videos fairly regularly, along with the other Let's Plays I'm doing, along with the streams I'm doing, along with the battle reports and stuff I'm doing, it's not feasible. Alright, you know what? I give up for now. Let's go to Sadrith Mora, and then we can go teleport ourselves to Telvos. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
I'm listening.
I will keep checking people who sell spells as we wander about. to see if they've got any restore attribute spells on them, but I'm not going to actively keep looking now because it's just boring.
Any time now.
But yes.
Go ahead, stranger.
That's something I want. All we need is one restore attribute spell in our spell book, and then we can make a spell that essentially just restores every attribute in one go. I'll have to jig it a bit so that we can actually cast it and it doesn't cost 1,000,000 magicka, but I think it could be done. It'll just restore every attribute for like 5 points for 30 seconds or something like that. You know, enough to restore any damage that you would reasonably suffer. So the next time I get on the wrong end of a Greater Bone Walker or an annoying mage like that guy, I can just pop that spell and we'll be fine. I won't have to go visit a temple or a shrine or something. Because that's the problem, really, because when your strength has been drained and you can't move, it's a bit difficult to go visit a temple to get it fixed, isn't it? So,
I could kill that poor.
on account of the fact that you can't bloody move. So... wonder if Fast Eddie's already here. Fast Eddie! I see a couple of empty plinths. I don't think he's here yet. Tell boss! Honestly, I just want to use these things at every available opportunity because I think they're really cool. Out of the way, naked guard. Right! I have a mouth now. You've found a mouth to represent you on the council. As your protege, Fast Eddie will do chores for you. I am pleased to see my own protege rise so quickly through the ranks of House Telvanni. Soon, it will be time for your advancement to the rank of Master. Please accept this glove. It was one of my first successful enchantments. Arian's Helper has been added to your inventory. I better not sell this just on the off chance it's super important later, huh? Let's perform more chores. Okay, what's next then? The other great houses have also built strongholds without the Duke's Charter. While we Telvanni can defend our holdings, the other houses cannot. I want you to visit the Hlalu stronghold of Wraithen Manor and retire the Hlalu noble Raynasa Wraithen. I forgot about this. Okay. Wraithen Manor is on the Odai Plateau. Follow the Odai River south from Balmora, and you will see it on your right. Go there and slay this young Hlalu noble. Okay. We've been to the Odai Plateau there before, and there was no stronghold. They really have built it while we've been doing our own. This is fun, you see, because this is the bit where, essentially... Perhaps to tell my council house. There we go. This is the part where we get to go and... I did that wrong. There we go. This is the part where we get to go and see what we could have won if we had joined one of the other great houses, essentially, because Wraithen Manor is the stronghold you get when you play as House Hlalu. And I'm sure he'll be sending us off to deal with a Redoran one after this. But yes. Alright, back to Balmora then. Divine Intervention. Saves me walking all the way across town. Although I've got like no magicka left now. Why is it with NPCs sniffing at me? Anyway. Yes, Wraithen Manor is what we could have had if we had joined House Hlalu, which was tempting, honestly. It was tempting because it matched... As a great house, it matches Fathas's... Oh my god, the music's actually stopped. Great. It matches Fathas's skill set quite well. The only problem with it really was... And also, I haven't done House Hlalu in a long time, so it would have been fun to do it again in this Let's Play, but ultimately, they're too pro-Imperial. I just don't think Fathas would like them very much. So we're actually going to go... Because it's getting late now. We're going to go rest in what is now our house. Caius Crusade's house, my arse. Fathas Ulven's house now. I'm a damn property magnate at this point. I got this house. I got the house next door. I've got a stronghold. I've got a lair underneath the St. Olm's Canton. Bloody Fathas Ulven landlord extraordinaire, man.